Good morning, good morning. I just can't wait to tell you how great good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning and welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father to seven, and the creator of what is going to be the #1 most watched morning show in the world. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind.
So I'm walking up to the exact spot that I married my wife. It's crazy. You're not gonna believe it. But this is it. Right about, I guess it's right about here. This is where I married my wife. Check this out.
Hashtag rise and grind. Hashtag rise and grind. Grind, grind. Hashtag rise and grind. Grind, grind. Hashtag rise and grind. Grind, grind.
Now you're probably thinking I'm crazy. You're like, this guy's standing in the middle of a parking lot. He's saying this is where he married his wife. But it's so true, because this parking lot that I'm currently standing in used to be my buddy's land. He used to own this place. My buddy Nick Gillis used to own this land. He had a tiny little house here right behind Cocktails Bar and Restaurant, which is where I met my wife. I met her. She was the bartender at the bar. And what's crazy is we decided to get married in his backyard. So we had a tiny little humble wedding. I think there was 25 or 30 people in attendance, and afterwards we went to Bonefish Grill for dinner because that's really all we could afford. We couldn't afford a big catered meal. We couldn't afford a big wedding or anything like that. So we just got married right here in what is now a parking lot in Lexington, Kentucky.
What you put in, so I'm mastering my mental. I'm focused on my physical. I'm developing spiritually and manifesting miracles.
As you can see, there's basically like some dumpsters right here, probably, 50 feet away from where my wife and I got married. There's like a grease trap.
Daily motivation, feeling so divine. Waking up the nation. Hashtag rise and grind. Hashtag rise and grind. Grind.
Everything to trap all the grease from the restaurant. But the reason I'm sharing this story with you guys, I want you to understand that, from humble beginnings can come great things. Like, we started with nothing. My wife and I, we literally started with nothing, and she got pregnant quickly before we were married, and we actually got married, and then we had our second kid. Now we've got 7 kids in all, 7 kids together. We've been married for 10 years, and we've had a lot of success in business and in our marriage and in our lives. And even though it all started right here, right here, next to a freaking dumpster, behind a bar, right behind Buffalo Wild Wings, even though it all started here, I guess the point I want to get across to you is it doesn't matter where you come from, where you started, none of that matters. None of that has anything to do with your destination. From humble beginnings, sometimes we find absolute magnificence, absolute joy, absolute pleasure. All of those things exist, and they can start from humble beginnings. So no matter where you're at right now in your life, I just want to share with you that you too can climb the ladder of success. You too can have successful marriages. You can have an incredible family. You can do all of those things no matter where you're starting, because where you started has absolutely nothing to do with where you end up.
Motivation, feeling so divine. Waking up the nation. Hashtag rise and grind. Hashtag rise and grind. Grind, 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 grind. Waking up the nation. Hashtag rise and grind. Waking up the nation.
To make people feel special, because you're enough, man. I'm telling you, you're already enough. A child of God, uniquely made by the God of the universe. Can you believe it? The God that made everything, He made you to be the best version of yourself, and you're making these incredible decisions. You join
Plays
this
for the Pacers,
Rise.
3'9". Favorite NBA player is LeBron James. Wants to be a New Orleans Saints football player. Give it up, Mr. Joel Lundy.
I must be doing a couple things wrong as a parent.
First of all, my son is literally named after Kobe Bryant. My son's name is Joel Bryant Lundy. He's named after Kobe Bryant, but yet for the All-Star game, he said that his favorite player was LeBron James. So I did that wrong. Second thing that I did wrong is I took my kid to a New Orleans Saints game where he got to go on the field. He got to meet all the players. He got to watch the game from the owner's box, thanks to my friends out there in New Orleans. And now he wants to be a New Orleans Saints football player, which takes my Raiders out of the running. Couple parenting mistakes there. So lessons from Lundy. You should probably teach your kids, if you're going to name your kid after somebody famous, you should probably teach them about that famous person so they know who he is. And secondly, if you're going to take your son to a football game and have him in the owner's box and on the field, it's probably a great idea if you take him to a team that you have rooted for your entire life, and you have a whole show and a studio that's like black and silver and so on and so forth. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up? Today is Tuesday, March 19th, 2019. That's right. It is Tuesday, March 19th, 2019. And what's crazy is today is the first and the very last time it will ever be Tuesday, March 19th, 2019. So we want to make sure we make the absolute most of this incredible day. Now, yesterday, for those of you guys that tuned in, yesterday was crazy. We had all kinds of problems here in the studio, all kinds of weird things. We had this Darth Vader voice going on. I had issues with my cameras. It was nonsense. And it was crazy because right after, as soon as I got done with the show, literally, as soon as I got done with the show, I went in and tested everything, and everything was working again, just perfectly fine. So I'm like, what is going on? This is just, it doesn't make sense. I test everything before and it works. I go live, didn't work. I get back off, doesn't work, or it does work again. And so I ended up getting some information about this computer that I'm using, and I took it to my boy Dominique over there at Best Buy. And Dominique looked at me like I was crazy. He looked at me like this. You know how, Dominique's a little millennial, so he just kind of looked at me like, he said, bro, you have all the newest state-of-the-art equipment, and you've hooked it up to a computer that was born in 2013. He said, dude, your Mac was born in 2013. He said, that's the equivalent. That's the equivalent of hooking up all this brand new technology to like 140-year-old man. He's like, it doesn't work. It doesn't compute. He's like, man, we're gonna have to upgrade that system of yours. So that was part of the problem. Is just the system was just freaking out because we were adding some of this new stuff. And it's interesting because this week we've been talking about like these false finish lines, right? And I remember when I bought this computer for my wife, I thought, okay, great. This is going to be the last computer that she'll ever need. It's the newest technology. It's got everything. It's got massive amounts of RAM. It's a Mac. It's supposed to last forever. And the reality is, what I thought was a finish line was really just a starting point of a series that we're going to have to continue to evolve our systems. We're going to have to continue to evolve our computer. We're going to have to get better equipment, right? We're going to have to continue to do those things. So one of the areas of my life besides technology that I am really focusing on making sure that we didn't reach a finish line is this right here. This group, Rise and Grind, the show, Rise and Grind, I want to continue to push it to unprecedented levels. You see, this morning, I could have, and for the last over a year, what I have done is I've gotten out of bed at 4:25 and I was able to go upstairs in my house, do my gratitude and goals, and then I could go right into the studio and I can do a show. Right? And that would have been great. I could have done that today. I could continue to do that. But I wanted to make sure that we're continuing to push through, that I didn't think, okay, well, that's the finish line. Okay, I built a studio upstairs. That's as far as it goes. I didn't want that to be the finish line. That was actually a springboard. That was the starting line for what's next for hashtag Rise and Grind. So instead, what I had to do this morning is I had to get up at 3:50 a.m.,
I had to get up at 3:50 a.m. I had to get all my stuff together. I had to do my gratitude list, do my goals, write the show, get all my stuff together, get in the car, drive 20 minutes over to the hashtag Rise and Grind. Actually, it's Studio Rise and Grind, Studio RNG. Had to drive over here to Studio RNG so that I could deliver an even better show, a next level show with the best possible sound, with multiple camera angles, with all the different things that I can continue to grow this show to levels, right? That's been a big focus of mine. I really want to get as many people into the Rise and Grind group as humanly possible, and I want to be able to effectively deliver a message that's going to continue to be it's going to exceed your expectations. See, it can get casual, it can get normal. I don't want it to get casual and I don't want it to get normal. I want it to be impactful. That's my goal. So the finish line, what I could have called the finish line, building the studio up there in the closet, that's not really the finish line. That's the starting line for what's next. Facebook has been throttling some of my posts lately. That's why it takes some of you guys a while to find this, even though you've turned on notifications. Sometimes it takes you a while to find my show because Facebook is throttling my post. I've been making different posts, different videos, so on and so forth. And Facebook, at times, I'll go through these seasons, these transitions, where they'll hold that stuff back. They won't push it out to you guys. So I'm sitting here thinking, okay, great. Facebook was what I was initially. Okay, the finish line. Let's grow this thing on Facebook, right? But now I'm realizing more and more that wasn't the finish line. This was the springboard. This was the starting line. What we need is an app. We need an app that we can control, an app that we get to decide what we see and when we see it, an app that's for sure going to give you your push notifications so you don't ever miss an episode, so that you don't ever miss a live. We have to continue to evolve this thing called hashtag Rise and Grind. We don't get to just reach the finish line and stop. It's not how it works. And I want you to understand that that's not how it works in your life either. In all aspects of your life. These false finish lines, we've been talking about them this week. These false finish lines, see, they can be, there's issues. When we have these false finish lines, it creates pitfalls. It creates areas and voids in our life. And also understanding that false finish lines actually exist, that's truly what can propel us forward in our lives. So these false finish lines, they're like a double-edged sword, right? There's knowledge to knowing that they exist, but they can also create pitfalls in our life when we don't pay attention to them and we don't understand that they're there and what they can do, and they can be your own demise. So we're going to dive into that a little bit. Chalkboard needs updating. No. The chalkboard is what keeps me humble, bro. It says March 19th. Yeah, March 19th. Maybe it looks like 17th on the screen. No. Chalkboard is the humility. The chalkboard is how I remember where we came from, where we started. The chalkboard will go with me everywhere. That's right. It's going with me everywhere. All right, check it out. Before we dive further into this whole thing on false finish lines, let's dance. You guys want to do that? I know I do. I love this jam right here. I took some time last night, got some of the old jams from the other studio. Moved them over. This is one of my faves. Hey, this is the part of the show. This is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. Because I truly believe if we could change the way people start their day, it can make a massive impact on this planet. I'm talking a massive impact on this planet, my friends. And sometimes all it takes for you to change the way somebody starts their day is for you to hit that share button. This is also the part of the show where I'm going to say good morning to you, and I want you to say good morning to me. Whether you're watching on live or you're watching on replay, say what's up. I'll say what's up. What's up, Eric Burns? Don't mess with the board. That's right. Letitia Earlywine, how are you this morning? How you doing, Sandra Benstock? Who else I got over here? I got George Fleming. I can move my camera angle. Check it out. I got my man George Fleming. Liza Myers Bortis is out there running. What's up, Janelle Griego and Vicki Everett? How you doing, Jonathan Bowden? Jeff Baker. Jeff Baker just got your registrations next level. What's up, Naomi Bussinger? How you doing, Ray Hatcher? Richard Pickett, there you are. Good morning. Christopher Campbell, AJ Anderson. My man Bruce Miller's in here all the way from New Orleans.
What's up, Kurt Allen McFarland? How you doing, Faye Giles? And of course, my man, Josh. Oh, Don Sankey's up in here. Kagan Sharp is up in here. I'm loving it. Eric Willeroy, how are you, sir? Anthony Santangelo is in the house. What's up, Anthony Santangelo? How you doing, Joanna Cooper Hamilton? I love me some JoJo. What's up, Sean Lackmacher? Sean Lack. Yeah. What's up, Sean Weatherby? That one's a little bit easier. What's up, Michael Reyes? How are you? How are you? Leanne Rhinesmith's up in here. Tabby Negrit. I love it. Everybody's up in here. My man Jeremy Noling. Praying for your wife, brother. Hope she's recovering and doing well. I love her. I love her. I love her. AJ Anderson, Paige Haney, Amanda Messer. Everybody's up in here on the hashtag Rise and Grind. And I absolutely stinking love it. You guys know this guy, right? You see, when a celebrity like my man Robin Williams commits suicide after having such a successful career, making such an impact in people's lives, it usually falls into the void that he had a false finish line. And we see this often. You've got celebrities like Robin Williams, obviously Kurt Cobain. This is Dana Plato. I don't know, for some of you guys, you might not remember or recognize Dana Plato, but Dana Plato was on a show called Different Strokes. She was very successful on a show called Different Strokes. She ended up taking her own life at the age of 37, I think it was. And so a lot of the reasons that these celebrities that you see, that you think they have it all, they got it all together, they've had all the success, they've made all the money, they have all the fame, and yet they take their lives, it's because of these false finish lines that I'm trying to warn you guys about. Especially the child stars that go crazy, right? It's because they had these false finish lines. They thought they made it. They thought it's over. I've had this, I've reached this point in my career. I could never do more. I could never do anything higher. There's nothing left. And then it ends up filling or creating a void in their heart and a void in their mind. And that void ultimately can be deadly. The reason that our country is so filled with divorce, 50% now. 50% of all marriages end in divorce, and that number increases the younger the married couple is. But the reason we're riddled with divorce in this country is because of false finish lines. People had it just in their minds that once they got married, it'd be happily ever after, right? Where were we programmed to think of that? Every Disney movie you've ever watched ends the same way, right? Happily ever after, and that was the finish line. But what most people don't realize is the marriage is really the starting point. That's the starting point of a new season. It's the starting point of a new life where you're going to have to learn to understand each other, where you don't try to change each other, but you respect each other. You love each other on a level like you've never loved before. So many people think marriage is the finish line. Oh, we'll get married and then things will change. Oh, we'll get married and then things will get better. I didn't get married till I was 31 years old. I never got married until I was 31 years old because there was one thing that I understood is that marriage, when you go into a marriage, a lifelong agreement, it takes work. It's not the finish line. It's the starting point. Most businesses, 83%, I'm going to have to double check that stat. Most businesses don't make it past 5 years. Most businesses go under within the first 5 years. Now, tell me how that is. Tell me how somebody can be so passionate about something.
They can be so passionate about their dream of business ownership, their dream of entrepreneurship. They can go out there and they can get the funds. They can raise the capital. They can do all of the work to launch this thing, to get it off the ground. They have all this energy, all this momentum. They start generating clients. They start generating new technologies. They start generating all these new things that are making an impact on this planet. And they get rolling. They get rocking. But within 5 years, they're done. It shuts down. I believe that a big part of that, obviously there's reasons outside that can happen. There's things that can happen in life. But a big part of why most businesses go out in the first 5 years is they believed that starting the business was the finish line. I'm going to own my own business one day. I'm going to own my own business one day, and then I'm going to be able to relax. Then I'm going to be able to be comfortable. I'm going to have all of this freedom. And I'm here to tell you, I now run my own business. And guess what? I have to get up at 3:50 in the morning. You know, when I was working at the dealership, when I had that nice, comfortable, cozy position, I didn't have to get up at 3:50 in the morning. I didn't have to. Technically, I could have got up every day about 7:45. And I could have made it into work by 8:30, and I could have done my job. And I could have done that. I could have. It was a great place to work. I work with great people. But I put in my 20 years in that season. I built something new. And in my comfort, as I start to get comfortable, one thing I understand is we're most comfortable in life right before death. And I'm not ready to die yet. So I decided it was time for me to take things to an uncomfortable level. My career, what most people would have considered a finish line, was my starting point for the new things that I have going forward, things that I have for you. Now see, the reason most Americans can't live in retirement, they're not self-sustaining financially, is because they had this false finish line. Do you understand how this false finish line can affect so many things? The reason why many drug addicts end up in the streets and homeless is because they had this false finish line. They thought if I could just do that drug one more time, that'll solve everything. If I could just have just one more, I'm going to have just one more drink. That can solve everything. It's these false finish lines that can destroy you, literally destroy you on every level. You see, it is an understanding that you are not done yet that will do the opposite. A false finish line can destroy you, and understanding that you are not done yet can drastically change your life. It can drastically change your life. You see, at work, I grew that store 800% in 5 years. However, the way that I did that, the way that I grew that dealership 800% in 5 years is I understood that there's always another level. There's always another level. We never said, okay, great, we're going to stop here. We sold 300 cars. We're good. No, there's another level. Okay, great. We're going to stop here. We sold 500 cars. We're good. No, there's another level. Okay, great. I've got a studio up in the house. It's right upstairs. It's convenient. It's comfortable. I can go right up there. No, there's another level. Okay, great. I've sold 20 cars every single month for my entire career. I'm okay there. No, there's another level. Okay, great. I've been married to my wife for the last 6 years. Our relationship's okay. We get along. We're kind of like roommates in the house, but we get along. No, not okay. There's another level. There's another level. I need you to understand whatever you're going through, wherever you're at. From Liza, who's got 13 dealerships, Scott Simons, who was just out there rolling with GC for his birthday party the other day, and whose stores are absolutely killing it. He's growing people and pouring into people like I need more owners and GMs across the auto industry to do. Where actually, let me rephrase that. We just need more leaders, period, to pour into their people more like Scott Simons does. They have another level. There's another level. My man Eric Thomas, we've been working with him a lot. I got sound coming through this. My man Eric Thomas, We've been working with him a lot, man. I thought Eric Thomas was the G. I thought he had reached the finish line. He's the greatest motivational speaker of all time. And then I got him in the Rolodex, and him and I start having phone conversations, and I'm telling you, there's a whole nother level of Eric Thomas. You guys are about to see it. There is a whole nother level. There are things after 30 years of doing what Eric Thomas has done that he realizes he's still got way further to go. And it's that drive and that ambition that still gets him up every single day at 3:30 in the morning so he can go out there and crush it, so he can make a massive impact on this planet. He continues to rise, evolve, and impact. And I'm calling you to do the same. I need you to rise, evolve, and impact in your marriage. I need you to rise, evolve, and impact with your businesses. I need you to rise, evolve, and impact every aspect of your life. You see, one of my biggest fears in life is I understand that we're most comfortable in life right before death. I get that. So one of my biggest fears, all-time biggest fears, is that my mind at some point will think that I'm done. I don't ever want to think that I'm done. Players get to the NFL, they think they're done. They think that was the finish line. They think that they're done. 2 years later, they're bagging groceries. I'm not done yet. I'm going to continue to live a life where I put myself in uncomfortable situations. If God woke me up today, he's got a bigger plan for me, bigger than I can imagine. And I'm going to continue to go out there and get it. You see, I'm not ready to die yet. This morning, I want to ask you, what false finish lines did I have been put in place in your life? What false finish lines did you think, okay, this is going to be it. If I can just get this, then I've made it. If I can just do this, then we're good. Or were they false finish lines that were placed in your mind by Disney over the time when you were a child? If I can just get to the marriage, everything will be happily ever after. What are the false finish lines in your life? We got to start clearing those out. I need you to recognize that they're there. Have you been telling yourself that you're only capable of this much? I know a lot of you that are watching this show right now are in automotive. And the one thing I see in the automotive industry that just upsets me more than anything is I see a new hire who hits the floor, who goes out and sells 30 stinking cars his first month, and then within 6 months in the business, he's a 20-car guy. How does the new guy sell 30, the guy with 6 months experience sell 20? It's because he thought he reached the finish line. He thought, if I can get this job and I can get in there and I can sell cars, I can change my life. And guess what? He got the job, or she got the job, and she got in there and it changed her life. And then she stopped. She thought it was the finish line, and she settled in. Don't settle in, my friend. There is so much more for you. In 2019, I want you to get rid of those 2018 finish lines. I want you to take those 2018, what you thought were finish lines, and make them your starting lines for 2019. Because, see, I want you to take off this year. I want you to soar this year. I want you to have the most incredible existence on this planet that you can possibly have, because there's something I know about you. You see, I know that you are a child of God, uniquely made by the God of the universe to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. I know this about you. And I know that as you continue to fly, you continue to soar, that is going to make a massive impact on this planet. It's going to make an impact on your friends, on your family members, on your coworkers. It's already making an impact on me. And I, for one, absolutely love you for it. I do. If nobody's told you that today, I want to be the first. I absolutely stinking love you. I love you. And that's why I so badly want you to win. Let's use last year's finish lines and make those 2019 starting lines. Go out there and crush it. I want you to have an amazing day today. If you need more videos like this, you can go to GlennLundy.com. Also, if you haven't got your flag yet,
Dude, these flags are stinking amazing. I'm telling you, handcrafted. He makes every single one of them by hand. He torches the wood. He puts them together. He frames them in. They're absolutely incredible. And you can get them at rusticamerica.com. That's rustic with a K, not with a C. rusticamerica.com. Go get yourself a flag. If you don't want the Rise and Grind one, he's got other ones. He's got firefighters. He's got police officers. He's got all kinds on there, and they're absolutely amazing. So go get you one. Come back here again tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. We're going to do this whole thing all over again on hashtag Rise and Grind. And go out there and just kill it, man. Just absolutely freaking kill it. You know why? Because you deserve it. You do. You deserve it. Love you guys. Have an incredible day.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. Hashtag rise and grind, hashtag rise and grind. First thing on my mind, early in the morning time. Daily motivation, feeling so divine. Waking up the nation, hashtag rise and grind. Hashtag rise and grind, grind, grind. Hashtag rise and grind, grind, grind. Hashtag rise and grind, grind.
So I'm walking to the exact spot that I made in my life. It's crazy. You're not gonna believe it.
Daily motivation, feeling so divine. Waking up the nation, hashtag rise and grind. Hashtag rise and grind. Don't stop, get it, get it. Hashtag rise and don't stop, get it, get it. Waking up the nation, hashtag rise and grind. Waking up the nation, hashtag rise and grind. Good morning. On my feet before the sunrise. Stepped into my greatness, feeling powerful and energized. Thankful to be alive. Hashtag blessed. Write my mission, vision, values, and my gratitude list. I'm building up momentum. I'm making good decisions. I rise, I grind, I get it. Ain't no doubt that I'm committed. Cause who really loses if I don't win? Can't cheat the grind, only get what you put in. So I'm mastering my mentals. I'm focused on my physical. I'm developing spiritually and manifesting miracles. I'm gonna get it started, have a party in the morning, and I'ma wake the world is so alarmed. And I hashtag rise and grind, hashtag rise and grind. First thing on